The city has been busy with the public works capital improvement projects throughout the community. The design and construction of these capital improvement projects are completed in order to achieve several key objectives, either by adding new public infrastructure or facilities or by enhancing our existing community infrastructure and facilities. The City of Yucaipa has been very active in pursuing and successfully acquiring local, state, and federal funding to help finance many street and sidewalk improvement projects throughout the city. This in turn provides pedestrian access and improved safety, specifically on streets that provide access to commercial centers, public facilities, parks, and local schools. Over the last 16 years, the city has been successful in seeking $74 million in grant funding and partnerships to design and construct important community projects. This includes approximately $30 million over the last 16 years, $30 million in alternative transportation-related grant funding used to construct over 20 miles of sidewalk, 18 miles of bike lanes, 12 miles of multi-use trails, and other pedestrian and bicycle improvements throughout the city. Over the years, the city has prioritized projects that improve the safety of pedestrians, bicyclists, and motorists on City of Yucaipa streets, while facilitating further economic development in our community. This has allowed the city to combine our local development impact funds with federal and state funds and construct these projects now, instead of having to wait to save enough money to build these projects in the future. Yucaipa has expanded a lot of our entrances into our beautiful city. Yucaipa Boulevard has been widened from the freeway to 18th Street, as well as between 15th and 16th Streets. This project includes widening Yucaipa Boulevard from 4 to 6 lanes, storm drain improvements, and a raised center median. Phase 1 included undergrounding of utility lines and removal of overhead utilities. The improvements in Phase 2 between 15th and 16th incorporate the same street widening and drainage components, as well as a new roadway alignment and a new traffic signal at 16th Street designed specifically to improve safety for both vehicle and pedestrian. The Phase 3 improvements between 16th and 18th, as well as the landscaping improvements in the median islands, will be constructed as part of a future project. As a gateway into the city, these phase improvements to Yucaipa Boulevard are sure to make your drive to and from the I-10 freeway more efficient, not to mention improving pedestrian safety, drainage, and facilitating economic development. A 30-acre commercial development project has already been approved adjacent to this project. We expect to have sit-down restaurants, drive-through restaurants, maybe a fitness center, a bowling alley, or a theater, and that's going to add to some of the amenities for our citizens of Yucaipa. Over 45% of the total cost for this $12 million project was funded both by the state and federal grants, local Measure I funds, as well as contributions from our partnerships with Western Heights Water Company, Yucaipa Valley Water District, and Southern California Edison. In addition to that, our Oak Glen and freeway intersection there has a bunch of exciting projects coming in. Oak Glen Road was actually designed to be the main entrance into the city many years ago, and it was part of a master plan that the city had a few years before I got on board. And it was designed to improve and widen the street at Oak Glen Road and the freeway that will allow commercial business to develop in the area, which now, as you know, stands the Arco gas station. We're going to have the La Quinta Inn maybe come in, along with a sit-down restaurant and a fast food restaurant. In conjunction with Calamasa, we have a lot of other exciting things going on. We are going to improve County Line Road that will include intersections all the way through County Line Road up to Bryant. In addition to that, we recently completed a major retirement community at the intersection of 5th and County Line Road, and currently we have many senior citizens enjoying that at all economic levels. On the south side of County Line Road at 5th Street, we have another development going on, a convenience market and perhaps a gas station. We're going to put in roundabouts rather than lighted intersections, which will enhance our circulation and make it a more safe street to travel. With the connection of Singleton Road in Calamasa to Bryan Street in Yucaipa, we're going to take advantage of that, and it'll be another access in which visitors and citizens of Yucaipa can enter and leave the city and take some of the strain off of the other major arteries that leave our town or come into our town. As these roads are improved and access and transportation corridors are more frequently used, this is going to attract developers of all sorts. Some examples of projects currently underway include the street and roundabout intersection improvements on Avenue E between 2nd and 3rd Street. With these roundabout intersections at these locations, as opposed to multi-way stop or signalized intersections, this segment along Avenue E, because of the roundabouts, minimize the impacts on the properties between intersections while reducing overall costs. This allows us to build sidewalks on these road sections in addition to the road improvements. Additional current projects include the installation of traffic signals at Oakland Road and 2nd Street, directional sign installations throughout the community, and the annual pavement management program on selected streets, where crack sealing, patching, and pavement rehabilitation resurfacing activities are completed. In addition to that, we've put in new sidewalks on 5th Street between Yucaipa Boulevard and East Street, and we also have a new sidewalk that we just recently installed on Avenue A between Adams and 1st Street. Again, that'll provide the public with enhanced safety and access throughout our community. Funding for this project was provided through a community development block grant, and as additional grants are obtained, the next series of improvement projects will begin. The city recently completed the construction of a parking lot on California Street next to the former Little Theater building. As our visitors come in, our parking needs are starting to increase. And while there is adequate parking throughout the Uptown area, there are certainly hot spots where parking is at a premium. While the 8-space parking lot may seem to be a limited amount of parking, it is nonetheless critical. The parking spaces dedicated for the disabled are conveniently located in the center of Uptown and provide the necessary compliance with federal ADA laws for the Uptown businesses in the vicinity of that parking lot. Given the limited amount of parking available for each business on site and accessibility challenges, the public parking lot on California Street serves as a solution to this problem. As part of this project, the adjacent alley will also be improved between Yucaipa Boulevard and Avenue A with an added enhancement, a mural being designed for the wall on the building adjoining the parking lot, which could be painted later this year. We've added new bridges. The latest one is at the Fremont crossing that we call it. This project is the 8th bridge project completed by the city over the last 16 years with a total investment of just over $18 million. This project consists of a box culvert over Wilson Creek to improve access and public safety during significant storm events. Prior to the construction of this bridge, Fremont Street would have to be closed down to traffic and pedestrians whenever it rained. What we have now is an all-weather road to the North Bench. This is especially important because it allows another route for emergency vehicles to access the North Bench area of the city at all times, and improved access to what is likely to be part of Yucaipa's future wine country. The project also included sidewalk and multi-use trail improvements to provide a connection to the regional multi-use trail system on both sides of the wash. Water lines serving the north bench were relocated above the bridge and under the roadway to further protect these utilities from being washed out during storms. It's important to note that in accordance to the Caltrans Highway Bridge Program, over 80% of this total costs are eligible for the bridge program funding, with the city responsible for the balance of approximately 11.5% of the total cost. We also have a bridge at the former low water crossing at 10th Street. We have one at the 6th Place, and we're going to put one at Dunlap and roughly Oak Glen Road, next to the proposed hotel that we're going to have at Oak Glen and the freeway. All of these bridges will have some sort of box culvert which will help channel the water properly and provide some safety for our residents as they travel over the bridge, which will include sidewalks and maybe some bike trails and other amenities to make it a more safe access to and from our city. With the improvement of our flood control, we're able to capture the water that would normally run out or flood our communities, such as the big flood that we had in 1969, which flooded all of the Uptown and flooded all of the Dunlap area. But by creating these channels and retention basins, we're able to capture this water, put it into the recharge system, so the Yucaipa Water District won't have to draw so much from other sources to serve the city of Yucaipa. This will help our city continue to develop. As we are developing our infrastructure, developers are becoming interested in coming to do business with Yucaipa. We try to do our best to provide an easy and smooth planning and inspection and approval process so that the developers and business developers can come in and bring in such things as Corky's, In-N-Out. We have a Yucaipa in the Uptown. We have a wine shop, 2 wine shops. We've got a new pizza parlor that's in the Uptown. And we have a number of businesses, restaurants that want to come in, and they're in the process of permitting and construction. And in addition to that, we have the YPAC, Yucaipa Performing Arts Center, which has become a keystone for our Uptown. It has also been the focus of our existing festivals and other entertainments that we've had in the past. Our Music and Arts Festival, our Autumn Fest, our Winter Fest, as well as the general entertainment that's provided by the YPAC, including comedy acts, theater productions, and music productions such as concerts, rock and roll concerts, country and western concerts, music that attracts people to come want to visit. And as a result of that, they will want to patronize all of the restaurants and other establishments in the Uptown, which then brings more interest for developers who want to come in and also do business there. And we want businesses to come here. We will do what we need to do to help business thrive and to help developers to come in and build in Yucaipa. You know, Yucaipa is famous and very well known for its open space and its number of parks that we have. Constructing new parks, trails, and enhancing existing parks remain one of our city's top priorities. We have state parks, county parks, and city parks, places that people can go and just recreate. We have hiking trails, we have biking trails. We also have an equestrian center that we recently put a top on, where rodeos can now come in and entertain the visitors. And we've improved some of our softball fields, and we're working with the Little League organizations and constantly looking for ways to improve their fields too. And we've also improved some of our amenities at some of our city parks, such as Avenue I Park, 7th Street, and Wildwood Canyon Park, where we put in new playground equipment for the children. All these parks are part of our city plan to provide a safe and enjoyable environment for our citizens and visitors. With these amenities improvements, we'll continue to provide that safety and as well as convenience for residents and visitors. Yucaipa is one of the safest communities in San Bernardino County. In fact, according to the Sheriff's Department, of all of the communities that the Sheriff provides police protection, we are the second safest community in San Bernardino County. Our police department is second to none. We are very proud of our police captain and our police lieutenant as they lead the forces in providing, again, the second safest city in San Bernardino County under the Sheriff's jurisdiction. In addition to that, we have a very strong and comprehensive fire department program that includes not just fire protection, but we have our own paramedic department and who are capable of responding anywhere in the city within 5.5 minutes. Recently, we had to add a new roof to one of our fire stations. In addition to some of the improvements that we've had to conduct and perform on our fire stations, we recently added a new fire engine to Fire Station 553, which will continue to provide the level of service that our citizens come to expect. The technology on this engine is superb, and it will provide even more than what previous older engines were capable of doing. As a 32-year member of CAL FIRE, I've had the pleasure to work in over 10 different cities throughout my career as a firefighter and as a chief officer. And I can say emphatically, with all my heart, this is the best run city I've ever been in. I'm very proud to be from Yucaipa, to be a Yucaipian, and I'm very proud to be your mayor. Our city, despite some of the challenges that we're going to face ahead of us, is fiscally sound and secure with our finances, with our amenities, with our public service, and with our staffing at City Hall. We have one of the finest communities that I know of in Southern California, and we will continue to provide that service with all of our heart and all of our commitment. Yucaipa is a growing community, but it'll always maintain its small hometown feel. This is a place that we can say, welcome home. Glad you're here.